Howdy ho, folks! Hey, look at this. We got some new Nightwave stuff. Well, yeah, I already had that. Thank you. So,
flash and bite.
There is.
The day is won.
Oh my
not
God,
with
Nora.
A strike to the heart, but 100
Yeah,
cuts
thank you.
about it.
So there's a new one. There's a new one that's in this intermission. We haven't had this before, and it's this one. It says kill 100 enemies with a mech. You might be wondering what that's all about. And there is also another one, which I think they introduced at the same time on purpose, which is this one. Find and pilot a fallen Necromech on Deimos. So you're kind of supposed to do both at the same time. So when they say a mech, they mean, in fact, a Necromech. Now,
coming up next,
the way to get a Necromech is by, you know, going to Deimos and doing the open world stuff and running bounties there and doing stuff for the Necroloid Syndicate and going down and doing isolation vaults, a ton of them. It's gonna take, you know, like a week or so of dedicated farming to actually build a Necromech. And to that end, if you want to own a Necromech but just don't want to go through the hassle of farming for one, they have recently added them to the store as well, so you can actually purchase the 2 different Necromechs in the store for platinum, if you so choose. However, there is another way where you can at least do this Nightwave challenge without actually owning one, because you can, in fact, pilot Necromechs that you don't own and just kill enemies that way. Yeah. So, here on Deimos, if you hover over the Cambium Drift, it says that it has a time of day. It has 2 different day and night cycles. It can be Vom and it can be Fuzz. And it's determined by like these 2 huge sort of infested snake-like creatures roaming around the horizon. And whoever is in control at that moment determines, you know, if it's, so to speak, day or night on Deimos. And you can only do this mission, you can only control Necromechs on the ground while it's in the Fuzz version. When it's in Vom, the Necromechs are just going to be active by themselves, and you won't be able to pilot them. When they're in Fuzz, they're deactivated. So what happens is that, just, you know, after 50 minutes of Vom, then Fuzz shows up, shoots a beam of light on Vom, and destroys her, as it were, the female version, and then takes over for a while. And these 2 cycles have different lengths, right? The Fuzz cycle lasts for 100 minutes, the Vom cycle lasts for 50 minutes. So you have a bit of time once you're in the right cycle, but the Fuzz cycle is where you need to be. When you're in the Vom cycle, you can't do this. But say we are in the Fuzz cycle, I'm just gonna set to solo mode. So now that we are in the Cambium Drift, and it is the correct time of day, meaning that this boy is on the horizon. If you can see yellow snake on the horizon, congratulations, you're in the right cycle. You can find a busted old Necromech and you can control it. If, on the other hand, over here, you have like the blue snake, then you can't do it. Then you have to come back when it's the right time of day. So, now that we are in the Fuzz cycle, basically all you have to do is you have to fly around and see if you can find a so-called fallen Necromech. You usually don't have to look very far. They usually hang around in like the spots where there are bounty missions, right, normally. So we're just gonna zoom around until we find one. Okay, so it took a bit of hunting, but we found one. Look here. This is what they look like when they're just in the field. A busted, scrapped up Necromech. And this looks like the Bone Widow version. So, hey, spoilers for the War Within if you haven't reached that far yet in the game. But you have to use your operator here. So you use transference when you're in a Necromech, near Necromech. And instead of just jumping back into your Warframe, you jumped into the Necromech.
You're making waves, dreamers.
See here?
I can feel.
This old busted old chap is just coming right back to life. Ta-da! And they have a Mausolon rifle. It's gonna be like unranked. But they are also rank 30, the Necromech itself. So you have access to all the abilities. In the case of like the Bone Widow, the huge sword, the Iron Bride, stuff like that. So now that you are in a Necromech, and you are here in the Cambium Drift, all you gotta do is just, you know, run around and find some stuff to shoot. Woo! Which, granted, can take a while. What you can do to speed things up is you can like start a bounty while you're here, while you're inside the Cambium Drift. You don't have to go back to Necrolisks to start a bounty. See there? That's one. But if you want to be done with this, you know, today, as it were, then you can just transfer out of it, go to Mother, start the lowest level mission, get back into the Necromech.
Unsurprisingly, you are not our only guest. A stranded Corpus agent, Latrox Oon, has run into difficulties amid the Grey Strain. Latrox is useful.
Double-clicking the shift button lets you zoom like this.
Hello? Anyone? I have detected a hive nearby. Shoot to destroy it.
And you know, now that we started a bounty, as you can see, like we're gonna get enemies for days. Gonna spawn in real fast. And you just gotta kill them with the Necromech. Now, since this Necromech is unmodded, I do recommend only running the lowest level bounties. If you try to run the higher level ones, this Necromech pretty much just isn't gonna cut it. And there you go. Didn't even like have to complete a bounty.
Congratulations, Tenno. As I said, Oon has his uses. The sample data he just sent, for example, is acceptable.
And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then you can just pop back into your Warframe and scoot back into town.